In a tense classroom at Jiangcheng No. 2 High School, a chalkboard announces just 1 day left until the unified exam. The class teacher, Chen Fan, gives final instructions. He tells students taking the liberal arts exam to prepare the IR stationery and gives a more serious reminder to those taking the martial arts exam to prepare the IR combat gear and weapons. Teacher Chen Fan then warns about the deadly risk of the martial arts college entrance exam. He strongly advises any student with an awakened ability below D level not to take it. From his seat, a student named Xu Jingming smirks, feeling the teacher's warning is directed at him. He thinks to himself that he has transmigrated into this world called Blue Star. It is technologically similar to his old one, but it is also inhabited by ferocious bloodthirsty beasts. To counter this, some humans have awakened superpowers. In this world, people can awaken various abilities at age 16, which are rated on a scale from F to S. However, the majority of people only awaken skills between F and D. As he considers his own power, a small flash of lightning appears. He reveals that his ability is an E-grade weak electricity, and he notes with disappointment that its power is only comparable to a simple stun baton. As Xu Jingming reflects, a blonde-haired classmate, Huang Tian, taps on his desk. He mockingly asks if Xu Jingming still plans to take the martial arts exam, calling him E-grade trash who would only shame the school. Huang Tian suggests Xu Jingming should just choose liberal arts and offers him a future as a small clerk in his company. Before Xu Jingming can answer, a female classmate, Lin Qingli, stands up and tells Huang Tian to mind his own business. Annoyed, Huang Tian scoffs at her and promises to show her who is best during the exam. As he walks away, he glances back and adds a cruel remark predicting Xu Jingming will die on the exam grounds. After Huang Tian leaves, Lin Qingli turns to Xu Jingming with concern. She advises him to ignore Huang Tian's words and suggests that switching to liberal arts might not be a bad option. Xu Jingming listens to her silently, his expression unreadable. Lost in thought, Xu Jingming looks at his great XIA Unified Exam registration form. The form lists his E-level elemental ability. In the Great Xia Kingdom, education is split into liberal arts and martial arts. Those with low-level abilities can choose liberal arts for an ordinary life. The martial arts path is far more dangerous. Students must enter a designated area and fight fierce beasts to the death to pass. Only by surviving can one hope to enter an ability user university. There, with years of training, even an unranked person can become a truly powerful ability user. Xu Jingming understands why his teacher and Lin Qingli are worried. He knows they fear what might happen if he takes the exam. However, he also recognizes that he cannot escape the constant threat of the beasts. This thought triggers a painful memory of a beast tied from his past, where he knelt as a child crying over the lifeless bodies of his parents. The memory strengthens his resolve. He doesn't want to be powerless again. With determination, he holds up his registration form and firmly declares that he will still choose the martial arts exam. As the sun sets, Xu Jingming is in a training hall, practicing relentlessly with a long spear. He channels his electrical ability into the weapon, causing blue lightning to crackle along its length. With a cry, he executes a powerful swing. The intense training quickly leaves him drained. He lets out a large yawn, complaining about how tired he is, and then collapses onto the floor, his spear falling beside him. Lying on the ground, Xu Jingming thinks about his training. He has been practicing with the spear for 2.5 years. Despite his efforts, his proficiency is still at a beginner level. He bought a spear technique called Lightning Gale Break for 300,000, which he believes makes him a little stronger than other ordinary E-class awakened ones. As he lies there, a grim thought crosses his mind. He knows the death rate for students below D-class in the exam is increasing every year. This thought strengthens his resolve. To get into an awakened university, he must be prepared to fight with everything he has. He pushes himself up and approaches a machine, clenching his fist. As his hand nears the machine's panel, a blue holographic interface suddenly materializes, displaying system activating. Xu Jingming's eyes widen in shock as he tries to comprehend what is happening. The system's activation finishes, and a new message asks if he wants to claim the newbie gift package. Still on the floor, he realizes this could be the legendary cheat system for transmigrators. His shock turns into excitement. A wide grin spreads across his face as he wonders what the gift package contains. The system immediately reveals the contents: an S-rank super ability and 200 ability points. He is momentarily speechless. An S-rank ability is exceedingly rare. In a major country like Zawa, a person with one is instantly recruited by top universities and cultivated into a powerhouse. Xu Jingming is stunned by his unbelievable fortune. The revelation fills him with hope. He realizes that even though he was born as E-rank trash, this system gives him a chance to change his destiny. With a determined grin, he reaches out his hand, crackling with his old weak electricity, and says, "Claim," accepting the gift without hesitation. Immediately, 3 system windows appear. The newbie gift package is claimed, 200 ability points are credited, and the system begins distributing his new S-rank ability, Purple Cloud, Thunder, gods, lightning. The power surges directly into his heart. The process is incredibly painful. An immense power erupts from within him, as violent purple lightning surges through his body, tearing his shirt. A progress bar appears, slowly climbing as the energy explodes outwards, shattering the interior of the room. The blast is so powerful it blows out the apartment window. The commotion is noticed on the street below. A woman points up at the strange energy, and her child asks what is happening. A young man frantically makes a phone call, urging someone to call the fire department for the Shu family's child. Inside, Shu Jingming writhes in agony as the integration continues past 50%. On the streets, people look up as the sky turns dark and ominous. Above the apartment, a colossal dragon formed of crackling blue lightning materializes. The event attracts powerful individuals. A man in a high-rise wonders if a powerful beast is invading. Elsewhere, a military commander orders Jiang Cheng's 3rd Legion to high alert. Back at the apartment, the lightning dragon swirls in the sky before diving back down, funneling its immense energy into Zhu Jingming's body. Xu Jingming lets out a final scream as the system's progress bar jumps to 100%. The light and pain fade, replaced by a simple message. Ability transformation complete. The overwhelming energy subsides, leaving Xu Jingming in his devastated training room. He slowly clenches his fist, feeling the immense power he now commands. Potent blue and purple electricity crackles around his hand. A confident grin spreads across his face. He recognizes this S-rank ability is on a completely different level. He thinks his old ability was like an electric baton, but this new power feels strong enough to shatter a person with one strike. His excitement is lessened as he sees the destruction. The windows are shattered and the walls are cracked. He thinks the commotion was a bit too large, and feels relieved he managed to control some of the energy. He then remembers the other part of his reward, 200 ability points. He wonders aloud what they are for as he touches the system interface. The system explains that ability points are obtained by killing fierce beasts and can be used to increase his levels and skills. A mischievous grin returns to his face. He expresses his delight at the simple cheat system and tells it to open the system panel. A detailed status screen appears displaying his new profile, his name, his level as an unranked awakened, his new S-rank ability, Purple Heaven, Divine Thunder, and his 200 available ability points. With the unified exam just one day away, Xu Jingming's eyes glow. He knows he must use these 200 points wisely to maximize his combat power. Lightning crackles around his hand as he tells the system to allocate the points for him. Xu Jingming decides to use his points logically, reasoning that all abilities come from the human body and spirit. He chooses to strengthen these two attributes first. As the system processes the points, his stats for physique and spirit quickly increase. A surge of dark purple energy erupts and swirls around him. He looks slightly dazed, marveling at the feeling of his vital energy and thoughts being enhanced. Clenching his fist, he feels the new power inside him. He throws a test punch, and a vortex of blue and purple lightning explodes from his fist, a display of power far beyond what he could do before. He looks at his hand, surrounded by crackling energy, and understands that by raising his basic attributes, his control over his combat skills and powers will also be stronger. The system panel confirms the upgrade, showing his physique is now 141, and his spirit is 160. It explains that each ability point was equal to 0.2 units of vital energy or spirit energy. A confident grin spreads across his face. He believes that with his current strength, getting into an Awakener university will be easy, but he wonders how he now compares to the other 700,000 candidates in the province, especially the geniuses trained since childhood. Deciding to find out, he kicks his spear up from the rubble on the floor. As he catches it and slings it over his shoulder, he resolves to go to the martial arts hall to test his new power levels. As he prepares to leave, his apartment door is suddenly kicked open. A team of 3 firefighters bursts in, ready to fight a fire, leaving Zhu Jingming stunned. The lead firefighter, looking confused by the lack of a fire, explains they received a call about a fire at this location. Standing in the wrecked room, Zhu Jingming calmly explains that the commotion was caused by his ability training and that everything is now fine. The lead firefighter accepts the explanation, knowing that incidents with awakened individuals are common. He radios his team to fall back. As he leaves, he looks back at Zhu Jingming with admiration, thinking how formidable the younger generation is to cause such a commotion just by practicing. Shortly after, the fire truck drives away. As Zhu Jingming, now in his school uniform and carrying his spear, walks down the street, a neighbor he calls Uncle Yang asks if he is okay after the fire. Xu Jingming reassures him everything is under control. Noticing the spear, the neighbor praises him for being so diligent, practicing even with the exam the next day. The story then explains that martial arts halls are important in this world. To advance, an awakened person must train their physique and spirit. The halls provide training grounds, which are essential since not every family can afford a private training room. The 2 most famous martial arts hall chains are Thunder and Brutal Bear. Xu Jingming arrives at the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. The narration explains that the brutal bear hall is expensive, mainly for students from rich families. The thunder hall, however, is free for all high school students, making it very popular. Inside the busy hall, Xu Jingming sees a familiar face in a group of students. The girl with long black hair and red eyes is Tang Qi, his cousin. He approaches her and asks why she is at the thunder hall. Surprised to see him, Tang Qi replies that she just came with a friend. Xu Jingming politely excuses himself, telling Tang Qi and her friends to continue their visit while he heads to the training room. As he walks away, Tang Qi watches him, thinking he seems a bit different. Her cheerful friend, Xiao Ya, is immediately taken by Xu Jingming's appearance, calling him handsome and asking Tang Qi who he is. Tang Xi explains he is her cousin, Xu Jingming, also a third-year student taking the martial arts exam tomorrow. Xiao Yu swoons, saying he would make a great boyfriend. A male friend teases her for falling in love, and she enthusiastically agrees. Hearing this, Tang Qi decides to bring her friend back to reality. She reveals that Xu Jingming's awakened ability is only E rank. The news shatters Xiao Yu's fantasy, and she cries out what a pity it is. The male friend smirks, commenting that it's commendable for someone with an E-rank ability to take the martial arts exam. Tang Qi, however, looks worried, saying courage is meaningless when the risk is so high. Changing the subject, Tang Qi reminds the group they are there to visit the hall. Xiao Ya agrees, mentioning she spent all of high school at the expensive brutal bear hall, and suggests relaxing before the big exam is a good idea. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming finds an empty training room. He stands before a large round target with his spear. As he grips it, he notices it feels much lighter. He realizes the spear hasn't changed. His own body has become much stronger. He considers that this old weapon might not be suitable anymore, but with the exam tomorrow, there's no time to find a new one. He decides to first test his peak physical strength without his lightning ability. He takes a deep breath, tightens his grip, and thrusts the spear forward. The weapon slams into the center of the target with incredible force. The strike leaves a spider web of cracks in the advanced training target. A digital display above it flashes the number 321. The room's equipment is made from a special memory metal, allowing it to automatically repair itself. Xu Jingming is astonished. His pure physical strength has doubled. He knows the strongest output for a normal, unranked awakened is only around 100 calories, making his base strength exceptional. Satisfied, he decides to try his new S-rank ability. His eyes glow blue as he prepares to channel the purple heaven's divine thunder. Arcs of purple and blue lightning crackle around his body. With a powerful leap, he brings his spear down on the target, creating a massive explosion of electrical energy. He looks up at the new reading, an incredible 3,021 calories. Xu Jingming is thrilled by how powerful his S-rank ability island. The standard for a first-tier awakened is only 1,000 calories. The fact that he, still unranked, can unleash an attack comparable to a mid-tier first-tier awakened shows his new potential, but he isn't done. With lightning still crackling around him, he declares that this is not his limit. He decides to use his true killer move, a technique stacking his enhanced strength, his ability, and his combat skills into one strike. He channels all his energy into the spear, which becomes covered in intense purple lightning. He swings the spear in a wide arc. As the spearhead nears the target, the lightning condenses into a single bright sphere of power. With a fierce cry of break, he unleashes the attack. The spear connects, resulting in a massive explosion of purple energy that completely engulfs the target. The force of the attack sends a shockwave through the entire martial arts hall. In the main stadium, students are shaken with one crying out, wondering if it was an earthquake. On the training room floor, Tang Qi, Xiao Yu, and their friends are thrown off balance. The male friend recognizes the powerful energy fluctuations, stating they are on the level of a true awakener. They wonder if a new awakener-level high school student has just appeared, since all the known ones train at the other hall. Driven by curiosity, Tang Xi says they should go see. The group follows the trail of energy down the corridor. As they turn a corner, they come face to face with Xu Jingming, who is leaving the area with his spearhead now wrapped in a cloth. Tang Qi calls out to him, surprised to see him there. Xu Jingming calmly says he is heading home to prepare for the exam, giving no hint of the power he just used. His friend wishes him luck but dismissively tells the group to forget him, pointing to the training room Xu Jingming just left, saying the energy came from there. The group approaches the door. Peeking inside, they see a scene of total devastation. The advanced memory metal target has been completely destroyed, and the reinforced wall behind it is a massive crater of rubble. The entire room is a wreck. Tang Qi, Xiao Yo, and the others can only stare in pure shock, unable to comprehend the level of destructive power that was just unleashed in a high school training room. Staring at the destruction, Xiaoya exclaims that even the advanced memory metal was blasted through, which would require an incredibly intense attack. She wonders if any high school student in their city of Jiangqing is actually that powerful. The brown-haired male friend dismisses the idea. Touching the crater's edge, he says the residual energy feels too violent for a high school student. He theorizes it was a powerful second-order ability user who mistakenly entered the student-level floor. Another friend agrees, adding that even a genius from the provincial capital couldn't do this, making it impossible for such a person to be in their small city. Xiao Yu, however, suggests a different theory. She points out that the only person they saw nearby was Xu Jingming and excitedly suggests he might be a hidden super genius. Her friends ridicule the idea with one, asking if she's been reading too many novels. The other points out that Xu Jingming is a known E-class user who would be lucky to have an attack strength of 300. Her friend offers a more logical explanation, suggesting the powerful user simply left through the other corridor. He then turns to Tang Qi, who has been silent, and asks for her opinion. Tang Qi simply answers, maybe, stepping forward to inspect the damage. As she runs her hand along the shattered wall, she notices the impact marks look like they were left by a long spear. The image of her cousin with his spear flashes in her mind. A deep suspicion forms, and she silently wonders if Su Jingming taking the martial arts exam is really him overestimating his abilities. The next day is clear and bright, the day of the martial arts exam. Dozens of buses arrive at a massive fortified venue, dropping off students armed with various weapons. Among them is Zhu Jingming, walking with a calm and confident stride, his spear on his shoulder. The students gather by a tall fence, looking into the exam grounds with a mix of awe and terror. One student complains nervously, recalling that past exams had much weaker beasts. The consensus is that this year's exam will be incredibly difficult. As the students share their fears, an arrogant voice cuts through the crowd. A long-haired young man with a large sword scoffs at their cowardice. He declares that anyone who can't deal with a unicorn rhinoceros is useless, leaving the other students speechless. Nearby, Su Jingming's best friend, Liu Ji, asks who the arrogant guy is. Zhu Jingming identifies him as Zhou Mingyang. Liu Ji explains that Zhou Mingyang is a well-known genius with a B-class ability who has already advanced to become a first-order ability user, a rare feat for a high school student. Xu Jingming looks at the prodigy with a confident smile and a competitive glint in his eye, silently wondering who is stronger. Suddenly, a loud voice calls for the candidate's attention. A stern-looking man with a scar, dressed in a military-style uniform, introduces himself as Wang Haiyang, the chief commander of the exam. He says that before the exam begins, he will review the important precautions. Standing on a military vehicle, Commander Wang Haiyang announces the exam will last 12 hours, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. He gestures to the vast ruined town that serves as the exam venue. He explains that it is divided into 4 zones: outer, central, inner, and core. Students earn points by killing beasts, with the score increasing based on the beast's rank and strength. The commander's expression turns grave as he gives his final warning. He says the core area is like a bonus question meant only for the top students. He urges everyone to act according to their abilities and not foolishly risk their lives for a higher score. Listening to the commander, Xu Jingming reflects on his own abilities. Before his power-up, he would have been limited to the outer area, but now filled with power and ambition, he is determined to charge deep into the inner circle and perhaps even challenge the core area. An announcement is made for students to get their exam supplies. Xu Jingming and his friend approach their teacher, Chen Fan, who is handing out tactical backpacks. Xu Jingming receives his pack, which contains a smartwatch for tracking points, a backpack with energy bars, a drink, and a medical kit, and a safety ball that can create a high-voltage grid to ward off beasts. As teacher Chen Fan hands Zhu Jingming his supplies, he offers one last piece of advice. He reminds Xu Jingming that his life is more important than anything, even if using the safety ball ends the exam early. Zhu Jingming respectfully thanks his teacher. Just then, a familiar voice calls his name. He turns to see his classmate, Lin Qingli, running towards him. She kindly offers him a spot on her team. With her is their class president, Liu Qin, a C-class user who says he will protect Xu Jingming in the exam hall. However, another student objects, arguing that the exam is a serious competition. He complains that taking on an E-rank student like Su Jingming will hurt their chances of getting a high score. Another teammate angrily agrees, accusing Liu Qin of changing their plan. The two objectors make it clear they don't want to be saddled with a burden. The insults infuriate Xu Jingming's friend, Liu Ji, but Su Jingming calmly holds him back. With a polite smile, Su Jingming declines the offer. He tells Liu Qin and Lin Qingli that he appreciates their kindness, but plans to go in alone. A concerned Lin Qingli reluctantly accepts his decision, urging him to be careful. The student who had complained smirks and suggests they go find the powerful Huang Tian to team up with instead, letting out a mocking laugh as they walk away. Xu Jingming watches them go with a confident smirk of his own, thinking that he is more than capable of getting a high score by himself. An announcement rings out declaring the official start of the exam. A fleet of drones swarms into the sky, ready to live broadcast the event. The massive gates open and a flood of students charges into the ruined city, shouting their goals. Among the crowd are Tang Qi and her friends, a determined-looking girl with a large sword, and the top contender, Zhou Mingyang, who uses his wind ability to leap ahead of the pack. In contrast, Xu Jingming remains calm. He takes a single step, then breaks into a steady run, his spear in hand, thinking that the exam has finally arrived and he is ready. As he runs, he taps his smartwatch. A holographic screen confirms his identity and displays the real-time rankings. The top 3 spots are already filled with Zhou Mingyang in first place with 7 points, followed by 2 other students. Xu Jingming looks at the leaderboard with a confident smirk. He notes that Zhou Mingyang has already started killing beasts, but the early lead only fuels his own competitive spirit. While others fight in the outer sections, Xu Jingming decides on a bolder strategy. He resolves to waste no time and head straight for the high-risk, high-reward core area. As he moves deeper into the ruined city, he suddenly stops. Ahead, he discovers a gruesome scene, the lifeless body of another student in a pool of blood. Beside the body is an unused green safety ball showing how fast the attack must have been. Xu Jingming is disturbed by the sight. He realizes the student didn't even have a chance to activate his last defense. The grim reality of the exam hits him, and he understands the weight behind his teachers and the commander's warnings. He thinks that if he hadn't received his S-class ability yesterday, he could have easily ended up in the same state. Steeling his resolve, he accepts the brutal nature of the exam. He kneels beside the fallen student and uses the boy's smartwatch to call for the body to be retrieved. He reflects that opportunities always come with risks. Suddenly, he hears a noise nearby. From the shadows of a ruined building, a large clawed paw silently appears. A moment later, a ferocious shadow cat with glowing purple eyes emerges. Xu Jingming instantly realizes the horrifying truth. The beasts had left the dead student as bait. It's a trap, and the beast lunges towards him. Despite the shadow cat's terrifying lunge, Xu Jingming remains perfectly calm. The beast growls menacingly as it pounces with incredible speed, its shadowy claws extended, but Xu Jingming is even faster. With a fluid, casual movement, he sidesteps the attack, letting the beast fly past him. The shadow cat lands gracefully, its glowing purple eyes locked on its prey. Its reputation is well earned. With an agile body, sharp claws, and a bite force of over 1,000 kilograms, it is a deserved newbie killer. It lets out a ferocious roar trying to intimidate Xu Jingming. As he faces the beast, Xu Jingming thinks about what makes these creatures so dangerous. He knows fierce beasts have a special terrifying aura that can paralyze their prey with fear. This heard that most awakened people, when facing a fierce beast for the first time, become helpless under this pressure, unable to use even 30% of their strength as they wait to be killed. He thinks about how wealthy families hire bodyguards to take their children into the wilderness to get them used to this aura from a young age, a privilege he never had. Knowing this is his first true battle against a fierce beast, he readies his spear as the shadow cat lunges at him again. The beast closes the distance instantly, its mouth wide open, but Xu Jingming stands his ground completely unaffected. Arcs of purple lightning crackle along his spear as he channels his power. In a single swift motion, he thrusts the spear forward, the lightning-infused tip piercing through the shadow cat's head and killing it instantly. He looks down at the dead creature with a thoughtful expression. He realizes the beast's intimidating aura had no effect on him. A moment later, a blue holographic window appears from his smartwatch, confirming the kill. Killed one unranked fierce beast, a shadow cat. Ability points, +3. A note explains that fierce beasts are ranked from 1 to 9, and those below rank 1 are unranked, corresponding to unranked human awakened people. Xu Jingming looks at the map of the venue on his watch. He considers that killing beasts grants him ability points, but he seems unimpressed by the small reward, thinking that unranked beasts give far too few points. Realizing he is unaffected by the intimidating aura of fierce beasts, Xu Jingming concludes there is little point wasting time in the outer area. He resolves to get to the more dangerous central area as quickly as possible. He begins his journey deeper into the exam venue, cutting a bloody path through the unranked beasts. He effortlessly kills shadow cats, iron-furred pigs, and wolf-like creatures, gaining a steady 3 to 5 ability points with each kill. However, he identifies a flaw in his approach. While he has gained ability points, he recognizes that he lacks actual combat experience. His new S-rank ability is so overwhelmingly powerful that it kills unranked beasts instantly, preventing him from honing his fighting skills. He also considers the high energy cost of his new power. He knows higher-ranked abilities consume more energy. Unlike his old E-rank ability that could last for hours, he can't maintain his S-rank power at full strength for even an hour. With the exam lasting 12 hours, he understands he cannot waste energy before reaching the core area. He decides on a new strategy. He will kill fierce beasts, using only his spear technique to gain experience and conserve power. Just as he makes this decision, a new, much larger threat appears, a formidable bipedal unicorn rhinoceros. The massive beast roars and charges, tossing a wrecked car aside with its immense strength. Instead of retreating, Xu Jingming stands his ground and faces the charge head-on. The powerful impact of the rhino's horn sends him flying backward. With incredible agility, Xu Jingming uses the momentum to flip himself in midair, positioning himself directly above the beast. Before the rhino can react, he dives down, landing on its back and plunging his spear deep into its skull with a single precise strike. The massive beast collapses, defeated. Breathing slightly, Xu Jingming is surprised by how much faster his killing speed has become, noting that even a powerful beast like the rhinoceros wasn't much of a challenge. A thought strikes him, and he wonders if his spear technique broke through to a higher level without him realizing it. He summons his system panel, which confirms his suspicion. His spear technique has leveled up to the intermediate stage, and his ability points have risen to 256. He concludes that relying on his spear technique is the most effective way to boost his strength. Feeling how fluid the intermediate technique is, he wonders what would happen if he improved it further. Using his accumulated points, he decides to upgrade his spear skill again. The effect is instant. A massive influx of advanced spear techniques and complex movements floods his mind, integrating into his muscle memory. He clutches his head, amazed by the sheer volume of skill he just acquired. With a wealth of new techniques, Xu Jingming feels a surge of confidence. Gripping his spear, he stands tall amidst the ruins with a predatory smile. He declares that he can't wait to find a first-rank fierce beast to test his new skills on. At the same time, in another part of the outer area, Lin Qingli and her team are moving through the streets. Suddenly, Lin Qingli stops, puzzled. In the distance, she thought she saw a familiar silhouette. She voices her thought, saying she thinks she just saw Xu Jingming. One of her teammates dismisses the idea, asking if she's seeing things. He argues it couldn't be Xu Jingming, as it would be suicide for someone with his E-rank strength to be this deep into the exam zone. Lin Qingli is filled with doubt but can't shake the feeling that she saw her classmate. She begins to worry about him. Her thoughts are interrupted when another teammate calls them over. The group rushes to find him standing before the massive, freshly killed corpse of the unicorn rhinoceros. They see that the blood on its wounds isn't dry, meaning it was killed just minutes ago. They examine the fatal injury, a clean penetrating wound to the head made by a long-handled weapon. One of them exclaims that it's a spear wound. The pieces click together in Lin Qingli's mind. The spear wound, the timing, and the silhouette all point to one conclusion. She wonders aloud if the person she saw could really have been Xu Jingming. The skeptical teammate scoffs at the suggestion, arguing that a unicorn rhinoceros is a beast that only a C-rank awakened person could defeat alone. To settle the argument, another teammate suggests they check the score rankings. Without hesitation, Lin Qingli activates the leaderboard on her smartwatch. As the rankings appear, her eyes widen in shock. There, in 46th place with 256 points, is Xu Jingming, Jiangcheng's second high school. She exclaims that it really is him. Her teammates are speechless, their faces showing pure disbelief. They refuse to accept that the E-rank student they look down on is now in the top 50, speculating it must be someone with the same name. They are left questioning everything, unable to comprehend the situation. Meanwhile, far from the battlefield, officials and VIPs watch the exam on large screens. One spectator comments on the predictable strength of the first high school, which dominates the top 10 ranks. They single out Zhou Mingyang, ranked first with 412 points, who seems to have secured the title of Jiangcheng's top student. Another official wonders if he can become a provincial top 100 student, a feat no one from their city has achieved in years. Among the officials is Jiang Wenshan, the director of the Jiangcheng Education Bureau. With a self-satisfied smile, he agrees that Zhou Mingyang is their city's ace, and expresses confidence that he will break into the provincial top 100. He then turns to the principals of the first and third high schools, praising their institutions. The principals humbly thank the director. While praising the top schools, Director Jiang Wenshan turns to the principal of the second high school, Zhao Yao. He condescendingly tells him that his school needs to work harder, noting their best student is only ranked 18th. The principal sweats nervously, bowing and stammering his agreement. Principal Zhao Yao is inwardly fuming. He knows that among the top 50 students, only 8 are from his school. He mentally lists his top students, including Xu Jingming, urging them to get their act together. A moment later, he pauses. The name Xu Jingming doesn't sound familiar. He wonders aloud who this student is, and why he's never seen the name before. He turns to the teacher beside him, who is Chen Fan, and asks about Xu Jingming. Upon hearing that his supposedly weakest student is in the top 50, teacher Chen Fan has a jaw-dropping reaction of pure shock. He takes a moment to compose himself, wiping sweat from his brow. He recalls that Xu Jingming is an E-rank awakened, and wonders if the boy had been hiding his true strength, but he dismisses the thought as impossible. He looks up at the monitors in frustration, realizing that since only the top 10 students have dedicated camera feeds, there is no way for him to see how Xu Jingming is accumulating so many points. Meanwhile, back in the exam venue, Xu Jingming has pushed through the outer area and arrived at the central area, a zone with a much higher danger level. He walks calmly through the streets, crushing a bottle underfoot. Taking a moment to eat an energy bar, he observes that the number of fierce beasts has decreased. He knows this is because ranked beasts have developed intelligence and a sense of territory, making them more difficult opponents. Suddenly, his sharp senses pick something up. His eyes narrow as he announces that his target has arrived. An instant later, a powerful striped beast bursts through a pile of wrecked cars. The creature is a first-rank fierce beast, an arm-blade tiger, named for the sharp blade, like bones on its forelimbs. Xu Jingming stands his ground unfazed. He remarks on his good luck, pleased to have encountered a first-rank beast so soon. With a confident and eager expression, he readies his spear, declaring that this powerful opponent is the perfect test for his newly upgraded spear technique. The arm-blade tiger lets out a ferocious roar and lunges, its powerful claws ready to attack. Xu Jingming remains calm and composed, holding his spear defensively. With a graceful spin, he deflects the tiger's initial pounce, expertly parrying the beast's attack with the shaft of his spear. The force of the blow causes the tiger to recoil slightly. Xu Jingming, however, seems completely unimpressed. With a confident smirk, he mockingly asks if this is all the power a first-tier beast has, musing that it would take a Tiger King to make him use more effort. His taunt enrages the beast, declaring that he is sending it on its way. Xu Jingming goes on the offensive. He leaps forward with incredible speed, his spear becoming a blur as he lands a clean, deep strike on the tiger's shoulder, drawing blood. The beast roars in pain and fury, but Xu Jingming gives it no time to recover, maintaining his calm, focused stance. His attack has only enraged the first-rank beast further. Its eyes begin to glow with a menacing teal light. It rises up on its hind legs, towering over Xu Jingming, and lets out a deafening roar as it prepares to unleash its full power. The arm-blade tiger brings its massive bladed paws down in a devastating swipe. Xu Jingming, showing incredible reflexes, dodges the attack and uses the momentum to swing himself around a nearby lamppost, avoiding the deadly claws and setting himself up for a powerful counterattack. Landing gracefully after his acrobatic move, Xu Jingming acknowledges the tenacity of the first-tier beast. He can see that despite its injuries, the arm-blade tiger still wants to put up a desperate struggle. Deciding to end the fight, he declares that any further resistance is futile. He begins to channel his spear technique, lightning gale break, and a vortex of blue energy swirls around his weapon. With a powerful war cry, he unleashes the technique. His body becomes a blur as he executes a devastating spinning attack, the energy from his spear creating multiple slashing arcs of light. The attack connects, and the tiger lets out a final agonized cry as the powerful technique tears through its body. The massive beast collapses to the ground, defeated. A notification immediately appears on Xu Jingming's smartwatch, confirming the kill of a first-tier armored tiger and awarding him 14 ability points. He notes with satisfaction that the points from a first-tier beast are almost double what he gets from an unranked one. A new perspective dawns on him. He realizes that while the exam hall is a place of danger for others, for him, it is a perfect treasure ground to level up. And with renewed determination, he vows to harvest as many ability points as he can by hunting the most powerful beasts. Back in the audience stands, the atmosphere is tense as officials and teachers watch the live rankings. The leaderboard shows Xu Jingming is now tied for 32nd place with 328 points. An official turns to teacher Chen Fan, asking if this surprising student is from his class. Suddenly, Chen Fan is the center of attention. Other teachers praise him, marveling that only students from his class have broken into the top 50 from their school. They compliment his teaching methods. A flustered Chen Fan humbly deflects the praise, insisting it is all due to the student's own hard work. Their conversation is cut short when someone shouts and points at the screen. Xu Jingming's ranking has skyrocketed again, jumping to number 25. One official exclaims in disbelief that he somehow gained 44 points at once. Director Zhang Wenshan mentally calculates the point values, recalling that a peak unranked beast is worth 6-tier 8 points, while a low-grade first-tier beast is worth 14 to 16 points. Principal Zhao Yao continues the thought, his face pale with shock. He remembers that the kill count updates every 4 seconds, and an impossible realization begins to form in his mind. Director Zhang Wenshan completes the stunning calculation. Within a mere 4 seconds, Xu Jingming must have killed either 5 peak unranked beasts or 3 low-grade first-tier beasts. A pleased smile spreads across his face as he remarks that this kind of performance hasn't been seen in years. He turns to Principal Zhao Yao and comments that this student is a very good prospect, asking why he has never heard of him. The principal, still flustered, admits he has only just found out about Xu Jingming himself and says they will have to ask the boy's homeroom teacher. He immediately summons a nervous teacher Chen Fan, telling him to explain Xu Jingming's situation to the leaders, specifically asking about his talent. Standing before the city's top education officials, a sweating Chen Fan stammers out the unbelievable truth. Xu Jingming awakened an E-grade ability, weak electricity. The principal is incredulous, asking if Chen Fan is certain he hasn't remembered incorrectly. Chen Fan insists that he is sure. He adds that he specifically advised Xu Jingming not to participate in the exam due to his low rank ability. Director Zhang Wenshan listens with growing curiosity. He deduces that for a student with only an E-grade ability to get this far, he must have other outstanding qualities. This mystery piques his interest. He decides to wait, confidently predicting that with Xu Jingming's momentum, he should soon break into the top 10. At that point, they will get a dedicated camera feed and will finally understand how he is doing this. He adds a stern warning, however, that if the student is cheating, there will be consequences. Just as he finishes speaking, both teacher Chen Fan and principal Zhao Yao's eyes go wide with shock. A new update appears on the leaderboard. Xu Jingming has done the impossible and broken into the top 10 now at 9th place. Just below him at number 12 is his cousin, Tang Qi. Elsewhere in the exam hall, Tang Qi, now with cat-like ears and a tail, sits atop a defeated beast. She looks off into the distance with a knowing smile, now certain her cousin was the one who caused the destruction at the martial arts hall. The top-ranked student, Zhou Mingyang, also notices the new name on the leaderboard. He notes with some surprise that with 6 hours still left, a new face has squeezed into the top 10. He thinks to himself that he has never heard of Zhu Jingming before. Because he is in the top 10, a dedicated camera drone is sent to follow Xu Jingming. The feed shows him effortlessly killing another first-tier beast with his spear. As the beast falls, a notification awards him another 14 points. He comments to himself that the efficiency of killing beasts is much higher in the central area. He then notices the drone and realizes he must have entered the top 10. Standing over his latest kill, Xu Jingming reflects on the nature of the exam. He understands it's a test of strength and potential, where better results lead to greater recognition. With this in mind, he decides he has no reason to hide his true power, declaring that breaking into the top 10 is just the beginning. Before challenging the core area, he decides to improve his strength again. He checks his system panel, which shows his spear technique is now at the advanced level, and he has 312 ability points. He notes with some disappointment that his level hasn't automatically promoted from Awakened. He deduces that the only way to advance to a true ability user is by learning a specific cultivation method, which he cannot do during the exam. Since he can't increase his rank, he decides to continue improving his basic attributes. He spends some points boosting his physique by 40 and his spirit by 22. Feeling a surge of new power, he clenches his fist, ready to finally head to the core area. He soon arrives at the entrance to the core area where the danger level is highest. He is greeted by a brutal scene, a pack of 9 armored tigers devouring the corpse of a large rhino-like beast. From a safe distance, Xu Jingming observes the pack. He quickly identifies the one in the middle, which is larger and has a more powerful aura, as the armored Tiger King. Far from being intimidated, he sees this as a great harvest of points waiting for him. Just as he prepares to move, he senses another presence. He calls out, telling the hidden person to come out. From behind a corner, Zhou Mingyang emerges, looking impressed. He compliments Xu Jingming on his sharp perception and admits he didn't expect the mysterious student who broke into the top 10 to be him. Zhu Jingming recognizes the top-ranked student and asks how Zhou Mingyang knew who he was. Zhou Mingyang explains that he is familiar with every strong candidate who could enter the core area. Since Yu Jingming was an unknown who rose through the ranks, he naturally deduced his identity. Zhou Mingyang then reveals he has been watching the tiger pack and prepares to draw his sword. Su Jingming immediately becomes wary, asking if he intends to steal his monster. Zhou Mingyang clarifies that he has no intention of stealing the kill. He explains that the armored Tiger King is a powerful mid-grade first-tier beast, and with its pack of 9 other tigers, it's an opponent no single person can handle alone. He proposes they cooperate to take down the pack. However, Yushu Jingming flatly rejects the offer with 2 simple words, no need. With a look of absolute confidence, he declares that he is more than enough by himself. Dismissing Zhou Mingyang's offer, Zhu Jingming confidently steps out into the open to confront the pack of armored tigers. His sudden appearance immediately draws their attention. They let out warning growls, and the Tiger King, perched on its kill, roars to assert its dominance. Xu Jingming's eyes narrow as he observes his opponents. He notes that, as expected of a group led by a beast king, the tigers have enough intelligence for a simple battle formation with the stronger ones in front. The pack growls menacingly, preparing to attack as one. One of the tigers breaks from the pack and charges, roaring as it lunges at him. From his hiding spot, Zhou Mingyang watches with a mix of disbelief and intrigue. He decides to observe the encounter, curious to see if Xu Jingming is just marching to his death or if he has some special skill to back up his incredible confidence. Facing the charging beast, Xu Jingming remains perfectly still, a calm aura around him as he prepares his spear. In a blur of motion, he begins to spin the weapon with blinding speed, the shaft becoming a near-invisible circle as he gathers energy for his attack. He unleashes a devastatingly wide spinning sweep, sending a massive arc of force tearing through the air towards the attacking beasts. The attack connects with overwhelming power. In a single brutal motion, his spinning spear cuts through several of the tigers at once, sending a spray of blood across the street. System notifications instantly pop up, confirming his kills and awarding ability points. The lifeless bodies of the tigers collapse onto the blood-soaked pavement, the initial wave of the pack annihilated by his single powerful strike. The armored Tiger King is enraged by the slaughter of its pack. Xu Jingming, however, looks at the carnage with a hint of dissatisfaction. He remarks that it's a pity his physical strength is still lacking, as he was unable to kill all the tigers in one blow. The remaining tigers, led by their enraged king, surround him, ready to avenge their fallen pack members. The Tiger King unleashes a deafening roar, a powerful sonic attack meant to disorient its opponent. The force of the roar is so immense that it shatters the windows of nearby buildings, creating a rain of glass. Even Zhou Mingyang, watching from a safe distance, is affected by the sonic blast, clutching his head in pain. Xu Jingming, however, stands firm amidst the shattering glass, completely unfazed. He recognizes the Tiger King's attempt to intimidate him. With a defiant look, he declares that while the beast might scare others, it can't scare him. As the remaining tigers lunge at him from all sides, Xu Jingming meets their charge with fluid grace and deadly precision. He parries one tiger's attack, then uses the beast's own body as a springboard to launch himself into the air, avoiding the snapping jaws of another. The Tiger King, seeing an opening, charges forward, but Xu Jingming is ready. Still airborne, he positions himself for a decisive strike. With a powerful overhead swing, he brings his spear down directly onto the Tiger King's head, the immense force cleaving through the beast's skull and killing it instantly. He lands gracefully as a system notification confirms the kill of an upper-rank first-order arm-blade tiger, awarding him a massive 20 ability points. Watching from his hiding spot, Zhou Mingyang is utterly dumbfounded. Sweating and wide-eyed, he can't believe what he just witnessed. He mutters to himself that there's no way one person could have taken care of the entire pack, wondering what kind of monster Xu Jingming truly is. Xu Jingming, on the other hand, is ecstatic. He marvels at the huge harvest of ability points he earned from the tiger pack. He excitedly wonders how many points he can accumulate before the 12-hour exam is over. Knowing that more points mean more power, he decides to hurry and find the next group of beasts to hunt. Before he can leave, Zhou Mingyang runs out from his hiding spot, demanding to know how Xu Jingming managed to crush the tigers with just a long spear. He asks if his ability is a reinforcement type, which would explain his incredible physical prowess. Without stopping, Xu Jingming simply leaps away, calling back that he is a lightning type. Zhou Mingyang is left fuming, not believing the answer. He clenches his fist in frustration, thinking Xu Jingming is being dismissive. A moment later, he realizes that with so many new kills, Xu Jingming's score is likely to catch up to his. He quickly checks the leaderboard on his smartwatch. To his absolute horror, he sees that Xu Jingming has not just caught up but completely surpassed him. The leaderboard now shows Xu Jingming in first place with 1,122 points, while he has been pushed down to second with 985. The realization leaves him screaming in frustration. Back in the audience stands, the officials are erupting with excitement. Director Zhang Wenshan stands up and declares that Xu Jingming's high-level spearmanship confirms he is a genuine genius. He claps a beaming Principal Zhao Yao on the shoulder, announcing that with Xu Jingming representing them, Zhang Cheng can definitely get into the provincial top 100. He promises accommodation for the second high school after the exam, much to the principal's tearful delight. Principal Zhao Yao is overcome with emotion, thinking what a huge surprise Xu Jingming has been, finally giving his school its day to shine. 3 hours later, in the core zone, Zhou Mingyang walks through the streets looking utterly confused. He wonders aloud where all the fierce beasts have gone. A voice from behind him suggests that he'll have to ask the #1 ranked student. He turns to see his cousin Tang Qi, along with other top-ranked students Wu Hao and Meng Di. Tang Qi points to the empty streets, explaining that Xu Jingming has already killed all the beasts. She says that because they couldn't find any beasts to fight, they had to team up. Zhou Mingyang is left stunned, finding it impossible to believe one person could have cleared out the entire core zone. Tang Qi tells Zhou Mingyang that she can tell he hasn't been a ranked ability user for very long. To prove her point, she tells him to look at her cousin's current score. She activates her smartwatch, and the leaderboard appears. Zhou Mingyang's eyes go wide in disbelief as he sees the astronomical number next to Xu Jingming's name, 35 points, more than triple his own score. He can only stammer in shock. Tang Qi calmly explains the math. Subtracting the roughly 700 points Xu Jingming got in the central zone, he still earned over 2,500 points, meaning he must have single-handedly killed almost 200 fierce beasts in the core zone alone. A bead of sweat rolls down Zhou Mingyang's face as he realizes the truth. It wasn't that Xu Jingming was afraid of someone stealing his kills. He had planned to monopolize the entire core zone from the beginning. Wu Hao explains their current situation. With only a few hours left, the remaining top students have formed a team. Their plan is to brave the innermost core zone, a place they know is filled with upper-rank beasts and even a second-order beast king. He acknowledges that going in alone would be a death wish. Meng Di then formally invites Zhou Mingyang to join their team. With no other option, he agrees, shouting, "Count me in." The scene shifts to a quiet moonlit rooftop. Xu Jingming sits alone atop a massive pile of slain beast corpses, his spear planted beside him. His supplies are completely exhausted, and he knows the exam is nearing its end. But his hunt for power is not over. He decides he must go deeper to get more ability points. Knowing the innermost core zone holds second-order fierce beasts, he resolves to strengthen his power one last time. He pulls up his system panel, revealing he has accumulated a staggering 2413 ability points. And with a mischievous grin, he decides to put his points into an upgrade. After channeling the new power, he stands over the corpse of a massive bear-like creature, letting out a breath of relief. He feels confident that with this final boost, he should be able to handle this year's combat exam finale. As the other top students sprint towards the final area, their final sprint begins. Deep within the innermost zone, a terrifying new beast emerges from the ruins. A massive white-furred wolf-like creature, with glowing red eyes and dangerous red crystals on its back. As the final challenge appears, Xu Jingming arrives on the scene, calm and ready. He holds his spear, a confident look on his face, as he wonders what kind of second-order fierce beast the exam has arranged for him this year. Just as Xu Jingming arrives for the final challenge, the team of top-ranked students also reaches the innermost core zone. They immediately identify the massive crystal-backed creature as a bloodthirsty savage bear. The beast shows its incredible power by smashing a wrecked car with a single swipe of its paw. The sight fills the team with dread. Zhou Mingyang exclaims that they are in big trouble. Meng Di explains that this rare beast has a hide as tough as E-grade alloy, which even missiles can't pierce. She adds with terror that a single strike from its paw could kill them all instantly. Seeing the overwhelming odds, Tang Qi suggests they abandon the mission. Their situation is even more dire than they thought. They realize the compound is guarded not just by the Beast King, but also by a large pack of high-rank first-level beasts. One of them grimly states that if they enter, they will likely be wiped out by the horde before the savage bear even moves. Faced with the impossible challenge, a team member immediately quits, saying there's no point in getting a high score if you die. Zhou Mingyang tries to stop him, angrily questioning the point of being handsome if he's just going to rush into a horde of beasts to die. The team's morale has completely shattered. Suddenly, Meng Di points towards the compound, shouting for the others to look. They see a lone figure entering the deadly area. Tang Qi's eyes widen as she recognizes him. It's Xu Jingming, fearlessly walking into the heart of the beast horde. As he gracefully leaps into the compound, the others watch in disbelief. Zhou Mingyang complains about the difficult test while another student panics, crying out that Xu Jingming's entrance has startled the entire horde, which now turns its attention to him. Enraged by the intrusion, the entire horde of fierce beasts charges at him. Xu Jingming stands his ground in the center of the street, and in an instant, he is completely engulfed by the snarling creatures. Watching from the rooftop, the other students are horrified. Tang Qi worries for her cousin, but Wu Hao remarks that he was too reckless. Tang Qi declares she has to go help him. Meng Di grabs her arm trying to stop her, and Wu Hao calls her crazy, saying it's a pointless death. Tang Qi desperately insists that Jingming is her cousin and she can't just watch him die. Before she can act, a massive explosion of purple and blue lightning erupts from the center of the beast horde. The raw power creates a blinding flash, forcing the students on the roof to shield their eyes. Zhou Mingyang stares, wondering aloud if this is the lightning superpower Xu Jingming mentioned earlier. The lightning dissipates, revealing a scene of utter carnage. The entire horde of first-level beasts has been wiped out, their charred bodies scattered around a lone unharmed figure. Xu Jingming stands in the devastation, purple lightning crackling around him. He acknowledges that his physical strength alone wasn't enough, so he had to use his superpower. A confident smile plays on his lips as he feels the immense power of his S-grade ability. Having cleared the lesser threats, he turns his attention to the final challenge, the bloodthirsty savage bear standing over the corpses of its minions. The massive beast lets out a deafening roar. Xu Jingming remains calm, analyzing his opponent. He notes the savage bear is massive and likely not agile, concluding that with his powerful thunder ability, it should be manageable. He then notices the beast is not alone. It has several smaller but still dangerous minions. Realizing these creatures might be an annoyance, he decides there's only one thing to do. With a look of fierce determination, his eyes glowing, he declares that he will clear the area first. He bursts into motion, his body enhanced by his S-grade lightning ability, moving with blinding speed as he blitzes through the remaining beasts. He effortlessly dispatches a high-rank Shadow Cat, his smartwatch confirming the kill and awarding him 13 points. With a confident grin, he marvels at the enhancement his superpower provides to his physique, but acknowledges he can't maintain the dangerous state for long. Knowing it's enough to clear the minions, he cuts down the last of the lesser beasts with a powerful sweep of his spear, earning another 15 points for a high-rank unicorn rhino. With the area cleared, the final confrontation begins. The savage bear roars in fury, slamming its massive paws into the ground and creating a shockwave that shatters the pavement. The beast charges, shaking the ground. Xu Jingming, wreathed in his lightning aura, meets the charge head-on. With a powerful leap, he dodges the charge and swings his spear in a devastating arc, shattering one of the large red crystals on the beast's back. The battle continues in a blur, with Xu Jingming expertly dodging the bear's attacks and landing precise strikes, shattering more crystals and wounding the beast. His smartwatch continuously updates with points as he dismantles the Beast King's defenses. The savage bear roars, enraged as it watches its minions fall. Xu Jingming, wreathed in lightning, taunts the beast, asking if it's getting angry. He promises to deal with it after taking care of the last minion. As he charges the final rhino, the Bear King watches with cunning intelligence. Just as Xu Jingming is about to strike, the Bear King moves with unexpected speed, smashing its own minion to bits to intercept him. Xu Jingming is surprised, realizing the beast anticipated his move. The Bear King claps its paws together, sacrificing its last minion to create a devastating shockwave that obliterates the ground and nearby cars. The final rhino is torn apart in the explosion. However, the attack fails to harm its target. Xu Jingming, surrounded by his lightning aura, gracefully flips through the air, landing safely and untouched by the explosion. With the battlefield cleared of lesser threats, only the two kings remain. Xu Jingming grins fiercely, his body crackling with power. He declares that with no minions left, it's time to see if the beast's armor-like hide can withstand the force of his thunder.
Alright, that's the end of the story. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.